we good?
Hey,
How are you?
Sorry about that. 5:30 still.
Still, Chantal's coming in.
Silence.
Give her a second.
Okay. We'll wait.
Really just not enough hours in the day, I tell you.
I know. Same way. Same all the time, though.
February already.
What happened?
Mid-February. One of my cars was delayed on the 15th, and I'm like,
That's okay. We're good. Okay, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is 5:31. We do have a quorum here tonight. I do want to make a note before we pledge the flag that we do not have video tonight. And so please make sure your microphones are on so she can hear everything that's going on. So, thank you. We do have a quorum present. Can we please pledge the flag? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. We are going to the approval of the minutes, the Rec Commission meeting from January 14th, 2025. The minutes have been distributed to you. Are there any corrections to these minutes?
I made one. I think she fixed it.
Okay. If not, can I have a motion to approve?
I so move to approve the minutes from the January 14th, 2025 Recreation Commission meeting.
Do we have a second?
I second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Rand and seconded by Commissioner Saha that we approve the minutes as written from the January 14th, 2025 Recreation Commission meeting. I will now call for a vote. Please vote.
How do we do that? How do It's on the thing. On what? Oh.
Vote results are 7 yes and 2 non-votes. We're going to vote on the Recreation Commission work session from January 29th, 2025. The minutes have been distributed to you. Do we have any corrections to those?
She corrected mine.
Those have been done.
I move.
Can I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the minutes as written from January 29, 2025 Recreation Commission work session.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Rand and seconded by Commissioner Norton that we approve the minutes as written from the January 29th, 2025 Recreation Commission work session meeting. I will now call for a vote. Please vote. Shit. Oh, sorry. The motion passes with 7 yeses and 2 non-votes. New business, the field pavilion, swimming pool, and pickleball/tennis courts rental and admission fees. Christine Young?
Christine?
Do we have any questions?
Your microphone's off.
I didn't turn it off.
There we go. How's that? All right. Well, good evening.
Good evening. Do
All
we?
right. We're talking about the fees.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for meeting at the workshop. During the workshop, we discussed the opportunity to increase the cost of rentals based on the number of hours used, and the fee for non-resident pool passes. We want to increase that, as well as pickleball and tennis courts, due to staff costs and to cover the manpower, materials, and maintenance of fields and courts during the rentals. That is our recommendation. You should have the fee graph in front of you, or the chart in front of you there. Just want to point out a couple of things that are a little different than we've done in the past. We are recommending
Christine?
that the event lawn and the Union Hill Park Pavilion.
Can we stop you for a second?
Sorry, yes.
We don't have.
And now it's
It's
showing
on
up on the
screen.
screen
It's on
now.
your
It just
screen.
got on there.
It's on
Okay.
page 46 of the packet. Okay. We are recommending that for the event lawn at Wills Park in the Grove and the Union Hill Park Pavilion, that we increase the fees if an entire day, that includes from morning to night, if it is rented for a special event, that it is $1,000 for the day. And the other ones that I wanted to point out, the other ones are nominal increases. For example, the formal garden's a $25 increase, and you'll see that there's some others that are just incremental increases. Two of the bigger increases would be at the pool, resident rate would stay the same. The general admission would go from $8 to $10 for entry. And the resident 55 plus, we increased from 50 plus to 55 plus, will go from $1 to $2. And general 55 plus will go from $2 to $4. And then the other increase that was significant is the pickleball tennis courts. Residents are going from $4 to $5 with a $1 increase. Non-residents will be $6, was $6 in the past and will now be $10. So those are the changes.
Okay. Does the commission have any questions for the staff?
Just a quick question. When do these go into effect?
Pardon me?
When would these go into effect? After
They
this
would go into
report?
effect after we vote, if this is voted on. We will put it in effect immediately.
Any other questions?
Christine, thank you for the work you did after the workshop. I like the consistency of resident versus general. I think it just logically makes a lot of sense throughout the different amenities. So nice work.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Any other questions?
No other questions? Do we have a motion for this item?
I move to approve the increase of the field, pavilion, swimming pool, and pickleball/tennis courts rental and admission fees.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
It has been moved by Commissioner Norton and seconded by Commissioner Piedrita that we approve the increase of the field, pavilion, swimming pool, and pickleball/tennis court rental and admission fees. I will now call for a vote. Please vote. The motion passes 7 yeses and 2 non-votes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. The Union Hill Park Design and Parking Proposal. Director Rogers, you want to present? Did I miss one? What's that?
That was an edit on my part that I missed.
Okay, okay. Okay. We're going to go to staff presentation. Community Agriculture Sustainability Services Division report. Amanda.
Community agricultural sustainability.
I know it's
Oh, that's, ours doesn't say that, ours just says community services.
I get to pick.
that works. Hello.
How are you?
Hi. So I have a very quick report for you this month. So our greenhouse construction is still underway. I mentioned that we had started that last month, and it was scheduled to be a quick process, but unfortunately, we're still in the process. So what happened was we had 2 different sets of plans that came with a 3rd set of pieces. So neither plans matched the pieces, and now we have plans and pieces that match, and so we're just trying to figure all that out. So, and now we have rain. So I'm really hopeful that it gets done by the end of this week, but with the rain, I'm not sure what will happen. So hopefully that gets done very soon. Our school garden support program, which I mentioned to you all last month, was announced to the public, and we already have our 5 schools that very quickly signed up for the program, so it's very exciting. And we had our first school that signed up for the chick hatching, which I mentioned last month. So we will have a collection of baby chicks hatched in a 1st grade classroom this year, which is really great. Our first plant and seed pickup for the year starts on February 21st, and you might recall we started doing it as a rolling week-long pickup rather than when we started this program, doing it on one day, which made it really hard for people if they had other things going on that day. So it's a rolling 7-day time period to pick up plants, and the first one is coming up in 2 weeks. And then our second plant pickup will be from April 12th to April 20th. And that's also the same time frame as the garden fair, the very large plant sale that happens in Wills Park, and that's with the Community Agriculture Program and the North Fulton Master Gardeners and the Georgia Native Plant Society. So that's really big. That's also on April 12th.
And where exactly in Wills Park will you be hosting that?
That'll be in the Grove,
In the Grove?
yes.
They all came back, all those, because those are the same people that were here last year?
Yes. The event's actually put on by the North Fulton Master Gardeners group.
Okay.
They apply with Christine's team for the special events permit, and then we are partnered, and so is the Native Plant Society is a partner in the program.
I recommend if you guys go early. It was very popular last year, and it was so much activity.
Yeah, it gets really busy. I would love to see it grow to a 2-day event in the future because it's a lot of work for one day. And I mentioned last month our Think Globally, Plant Locally grant, which helps citizens get their yards certified as a National Wildlife Federation pollinator garden. And we currently have, as of last week, we have 8 houses signed up. So we have 17 more spots. So I expect those to fill before the deadline ends. I mentioned last month that the farmers market will be accepting SNAP this year. The press release and the frequently asked questions were in your packet, so you could review that. It has details, but if you have any questions, of course, you can ask me. And then the other thing that was in your packet, which I had mentioned last month, is the survey that we put out to our volunteers for the volunteer program at Old Rucker Farm, and those were overwhelmingly positive. What you have in your packet is 100% of the survey responses. It's just directly pulled from the Google Doc. Do you have any questions for me? Yes.
Amanda, hey, thanks so much. On the pollinator garden, where can you find the criteria for that certification?
Sure, it's on the Community Agriculture website under the Community tab.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I read one of the feedback. I know you had highlighted 2 in the report, but one of them was, this is so popular and you have so much help that I'm going to go help at my church instead where there's more need. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, thank you. I thought that was great too. Like, we kind of chuckled as a team that was our negative comment was, you have too many volunteers signed up. There weren't any spots for me to volunteer. So I thought that was great too. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Cultural Services Division report. Kim is not here tonight. Her report will be online. And Recreation Services, Christine.
Hello again. Let's see, my mic is on this time. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for keeping me in line there. All right, we had a super fun event on Saturday night, and I wanted to share some of that with you. And you will recognize, is it connected there, Sarah? Let me get the ambiance going here. Let's see if I can get this right. Before I... Nope, that didn't work. Let me get my music going here. Yep, not working. Are you good there? Okay. I'm going to close that down and not do that. All right, so I just want to share some super fun pictures here that we got from the dance. It was the Rolling on the River, and it was on Friday or Saturday night. The theme was obviously New Orleans and all the fun things that come along with it. The community center was decorated to the hilt, as you can see. You walked into a riverboat, and you walked through the riverboat to go into the gym, and they had it just decorated great. It was so beautiful. And even beware of the Crocs, do not enter, so that kept people out of areas. The food was fantastic. They had muffaletta sandwiches, great cookies, and of course, king cake, which came from New Orleans. Had to have that. You will recognize some people in here as we go along, but we had some little people, big people, and everything in between. Carla, there you are. Carla was on the dance floor the whole time, is what I was told. And yeah, she's very. And there's her girls doing some sword work with some balloons. But we had a saxophone player that walked around. We had a parade, which you can also see. There's some people you know there. Kurt and his wife Ginny came, and they handed out beads for the parade. We had just dads and moms and everybody dancing. And there in the lower right corner is Lindsay, the architect of all of this. And there's also in there. Carla, there must be 10 pictures of you like that. So you were having a great time. And, you know, it served old and young, not old, but young and young at heart, I should say. And everybody just seemed to have a great time. We had over 140 people there. And it was a celebration. They had, I don't know, Morgan, would you like to speak to it? You were there. Did you have a good time?
We did. It was, you know, it was a special night because when you walked in, it didn't feel like you were going into a recreation center. It really felt like. And I actually did this earlier in the day. If you get down on your knees and you looked at that riverboat from a child's perspective, it was like, wow. So it was very well done. Lindsay and her crew at the community center are just outstanding for that. And it was a very memorable night. There were a lot of different activities. There was actually some things happening under the table, but we won't talk about that. But it was a good night, and it was a lot of fun. And thanks to the staff for making it a fun night.
Yeah, that team knocked it out of the park. They don't know how they're going to top this next year. Every single year they say, we don't know how we're going to top it. So we'll see what they do next year. I think they already have the theme picked out.
Yeah, I just want to add to that a huge thanks to the team. All of the details were just absolutely elevated, and the decorations, the music was knock your socks off. The food, the team, the smiles, the energy, truly created a lifetime of memories for a lot of our residents, and it was really special to be a part of it.
And you had your whole gang there, including your mom and dad, is that right? Yeah, it was really fun. So I can't wait to see what they do next year. The next thing on my list is, let me pull that up. Where is it? PDF. We have the summer guide coming out. It should be online this week later on. On the cover, we have Erica, who does our Zumba, and she's on Town Green there. She's going to be making a comeback this summer, and she will be out there as well for our Power Hour on the Town Green. If you have never taken Zumba, they have it every Tuesday night at Preston Ridge, and that place is packed, and it is rocking. It is so much fun. So anyway, this is coming up. Registration, once again, will be Wednesday, February 26th, starting at 8 a.m., and that's for residents. So we've got a lot of great things coming up for the summer, which I'm going to talk about here. We are in the middle of summer hiring. We're looking for pool cashiers, counselors for all the camps, and lifeguards. That is in full swing. It is on the city website. If anybody has anyone who is interested in a summer job, please put that out there and let them know that it's available.
And Christine, what's the age? For
16 and no, 16.
Okay.
They have to be 16 by the start date. So they could be 15 now, but they have to be 16 by the first day that they work.
Got it, thanks.
The structure of summer day camp that we run is going to be Wills Park Day Camp, which is ages 6 to 9, Level Up Day Camp, which is ages 9.5 to 11, and Extreme Day Camp, which will be ages 12 to 14. We restructured teens summer camp. It's not going to be a day camp anymore every day, but we will have outings for teens. They will be going on field trips and gone most of the day, and that's ages 13 to 15, and we have one. I think we have 6 of them planned, 6 total. New summer offerings that we have is golf camp, which is ages 3 to 12, pickleball and pool camp, which will be ages 8 to 14, Sports play, Kiddo Kinetics, which is all things sports, different sports each day, ages 3 to 5. Chess Camp, ages 6 to 12. And Summer Daily Chill, which is a new thing we've added. It is the last week before they go back, kids go back to school. And it is they pay per day. Because what we were finding was that last week, we'd have kids sign up for the whole week, and they'd come a day here, 2 days here. They wouldn't come for the full week. So what we did was we said, okay, if you want to come each day, we'll provide all these activities. There won't be any field trips that week, but it'll be a day-by-day camp. One thing I want to share with you that is really fantastic, the link is on in the agenda there. Health and wellness. Angel Cornista is our master of all things health and wellness, and she has put out this amazing story map that you can click on that, and it takes you to all the health and wellness that's going on. Can you see that on your screen? Mm-hmm. This is so great. So if you take your cursor and you go over to Silver Spokes, and you click on it, it shows you exactly where Silver Spokes meets, and it gives you a description of it. If you close it out and you want to find out Town Green Fitness, it shows you exactly where Town Green is and where they meet. So and it has a description. So she has all these different activities that are coming up, and it shows you where to go, which is fantastic. We have Zumba with Erica, which we talked about, Silver Spokes, Town Green Fitness, Music with Movement, Tinker Garden, Balance Kids, and it tells when they're going on, all sorts of things. And she's just done a great job with this. This is a power hour at Town Green in City Center. This is she does it every summer. She's just revamped it. These are the 6 activities that are going to be going on out there. We have Burn Boot Camp, Core 57, Horsepower Fitness, Jet Set Pure Bar, and Zumba with Erica. And if you go on the QR code, it'll give you the schedule for that. It also shows where people can park to come to this, because parking can be an issue downtown at times. Mm-hmm. And if you go down here, it shows you where the parking lots are, where Power Hour meets, and where the yoga classes are. And it gives you more information if you click on the link. It tells you more, so where the closest parking is. She's got other events on here. We have the Greenway Day Bike Rally, and it has a registration link for that. It has a registration to the Health and Wellness newsletter. If you've never looked at the Health and Wellness newsletter, it's fantastic. Let me get to it here real quick. Health and Wellness, that's it. Oh, it goes back to that. Never mind. I don't know where there it is, monthly calendar. You can go on that, and she does a great job talking about what's going on. She keeps up with all the information on here and has all the schedule of where everything is. And look at all these things that are on there. She has so many things scheduled that are free fitness. And just additional information out there. So she's done a great job with this, and I just wanted to highlight health and wellness in Alpharetta, and a great job that Angel has done. Any questions on that? Okay. All right. A couple of other things that aren't on there, just real quick. I just want to give a huge shout out to Paul and team for the Polar Bear Plunge. You had 400 people on that deck and 200 jumpers, which is probably about 50 more than you had last year. And fun day, lots of incredible costumes, some of which ended up on the bottom of the pool. But a great day, and raised over $280,000, if am I corrected, for so many different charities in our community and around the world. So kudos to Rotary for that. That was a fun event.
Yeah,
you guys did great.
Well, thank you to the city for partnering with us and letting us use the pool, because couldn't do it without y'all.
Our pleasure. We enjoy it. My staff enjoys it. They didn't have to go into the pool this year, which was good. They haven't had to yet, so that's our goal, is to not have to jump into the pool.
We can change that next year.
And speaking of special events, one thing I'd like to hand out to you is the calendar year schedule, or booked, I should say, events through our special events team. Morgan, can I have one of those? You know, when Morgan pointed out that I don't think people understand that when we say special events, I think some people think that my team just handles tree lighting, or Taste of Alpharetta, or 4th of July, or Wire and Wood, or there's one more. My brain's not working. Thank you. Scarecrow Harvest, had to think of that. Scarecrow Harvest, but that's just a small part of what they do every single year. What you see on here on this list is all the partnered events and all the outside events that are on the books or in red that they're pending approval. And a lot of those red ones, they've been here before, we just don't have all the information from them, but they are on the docket to be approved. So I just want you to see the huge amount that we bring into the city as far as special events goes. And I just need to give a shout out to my team and how well they handle booking everybody, making sure for our partnered events that public safety is scheduled, public works is scheduled, parks people are scheduled if all those things are needed or any of those are needed. And the communication that our team has back and forth with all of these groups is exceptional. And they knock it out of the park. They're great. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what we do and to understand the scope of, the enormity of the number of events we bring into this city every single year. Any questions on that?
This is great, by the way. Thank you for this. Any questions for her?
If we wanted to post this on Facebook, do you have like a way of, like, hey, this is what Alpharetta's doing? It's kind of cool, actually.
I could talk with Deanna about how we can get that out there to show that. I can talk with her about that and how she would want to put that out
Yeah.
on Facebook. Yeah, I can do that. Good suggestion.
Why is some of it red?
Pardon me?
Oh, pending.
I'm sorry.
I was saying, why is some of it in red, but it's pending?
They're pending
Gotcha.
approval.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Park Services with Eric. Eric is not here tonight. His report will be online. Park Services, Matt.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing well. My staff's ready for spring. Last week, we finally got that taste.
I'm with your staff.
And then today, bam, right back. We've got a lot of things we're working on at the park. We've obviously continued all of our winter operations. Had a little bit of damage with the storms we had a few weeks ago, but it's hard to believe that we'll actually have our baseball opening day on March 1st. So we're only a couple weeks away from opening day at Will's. We'll send out some more information here in the next week or so. We've got a drainage project that Public Works is working on. It's really going to kind of upgrade the infrastructure underneath Field 5 and runs up underneath that the main corridor heading up to the upper fields. And so that pipe was basically put in a long time ago and was collapsing and failing. So they're putting in kind of abandoning some of the project or some of the pipe and redirecting it. So they're putting in about another 300 feet of pipe, which will upgrade that for any kind of future improvement in that area. Like I said, staff's kind of gearing up for opening day, working on common areas and getting everything planted. We're going to give it another week or 10 days, hopefully, and we'll be in that time. So equestrian centers, we've had some shows, but this time of the year is just really difficult for us to produce horse shows. We had one when we had the cold spell a few weeks ago, and it just trying to get the ground broken up and being under freezing for 60 hours is just it makes it difficult. But we got it done. So that's all that schedule is about to kick back up this weekend, and then we'll run every weekend through. So that kind of concludes my report. If y'all have any questions.
Any questions?
Yeah, Matt, we're going to have an opening ceremony this year like we did a few years back, or?
Yes, John, I'll find out those details and we'll forward those to you.
Okay.
But yes, we like to do the open
Walk-in?
walk. Yeah.
Get the mayor over there and let him throw out the first pitch.
That could be you.
That could be you.
Start loosening it up.
I'd leave my arm laying there.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Senior Operations Manager.
Well, good evening. Yeah, we're missing a couple of our friends, Kim and Eric. rumor is Eric is kid sitting, so kudos to Eric. Long story, but that is the truth. He would really appreciate me highlighting that, especially with he's got this, this personality he has to live up to. So. A couple things that I want to mention. We have an area that was washed out during the recent hurricane along the Greenway, just below Webbridge Road, where they're doing all the construction. We've been working on that. We've got that bank stabilized and that area completed. So we're excited about that. We got one last step in that project, and that is to put a guardrail up. Since it is kind of close to the Greenway, we want to make sure we want to protect our users. So that will be coming up the next step. But the bank is, is stabilized, and we won't have any more concern about any washout underneath the Greenway. The Webbridge upper field turf installation is, I would say, 90%, maybe a little bit more, but the rain has kind of slowed things down. So their completion goal was to be at the end of this month, and it looks like they're actually going to be able to maybe complete it maybe a few days early. So we're excited about that. This is something that we've been, as a department, have been working on for quite some time, and we're just excited that this is finally coming to pass, and we're going to be able to have a field and be able to maximize that space for a very popular program for the community. Mayfield, the Mayfield property, everybody knows that it is an area that was purchased in partnership with the City of Milton, and we're just kind of waiting on the funding and an idea about what we're going to do as far as developing that part. Meanwhile, you have the old houses from the farm and some other structures that are just becoming to a point where they don't look good, they're not safe, so we're given funding to actually demo that property, not just the houses, but all the unsafe structures on that property. That bid process is complete, and we're just waiting to get council approval to go into the contract. So the hope is before June that property will be demoed, and it'll be a clean area and a safe area. So we're excited about that.
Kurt, how many structures are there? There's 2 houses and a barn?
Oh, there's approximately 11 structures there.
Oh.
From the houses to small structures. There were more than that, but then a few of them have been torn down. So, yeah. And all of that is a combination of just not safe conditions out there. And a couple shout outs. And I know that this has been mentioned, but I'm going to mention it again because it's worth mentioning. I want to shout out to the community center staff, Lindsay and her team, for, I believe, the best Valentine's dance ever. I dared them today to do better next year. I don't know if it can be topped. Another shout out is to Kim and Daniel Dominique, I call him Neek, for completing the long and painful process of the spotlight stage at the mall. Morgan's going to highlight that a little bit more, but I want to give them a shout out because that process is just kind of just painful. It really was. And the challenges that they did, and they just stayed committed to that purpose, and it's going to be an outstanding amenity for the community. Another shout out, Jeff Serra, engineer, Public Works. You know, I can't say enough thank yous to this man who has been working with us to try to get these bond projects designed and constructed. And it's like herding cats with the Recreation and Parks Department, and he does such a good job of his patience with us. But I can't say thank you enough to Jeff and Pete and Public Works for all their efforts to really, if it wasn't for that cooperation, these bond projects wouldn't be completed at all. So I got to say thank you again. And I want to say a shout out to Nate Han and his team at Webbridge Park. They were named the 2024 Park of the Year by our park director in December, and we're proud of that work they accomplished. But also Kim Zane and her staff for being selected for the 2024 Program of the Year for the sewer man art project on the Greenway, which I had the privilege to choose, it was a fun thing that we did at our holiday luncheon, something we just did for fun. But you know what? It really highlights the hard work that our staff does year in and year out, day in and day out, and the accomplishments that they take care of. If you haven't seen what we're talking about, just go for a ride on the Greenway along the southern portion between Rock Mill Park and North Point Park. Or just go to Webb Bridge and just kind of see the subtle enhancements that are happening, that when you walk, you go in and you're just like, wow, this has been going on for years. So it's just a tremendous accomplishment for those teams, but also it just goes without saying that the other teams do just as well, and we're proud of that. And last but not least, a shout out to Carlo Mangan, crew leader over at the Greenway for 25 years of selfless service. He was not just a coworker; he was a very good friend, and I couldn't be prouder of him for accomplishing what he's done over the last 25 years. So, you have any questions?
Any updates on the turf up at Webbridge?
I'm sorry?
The turf at Webbridge?
Okay.
Any updates on the project?
Yeah, that's about 90% complete.
Awesome, thanks.
Is Carlos retiring?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
His last day was January 26th this year.
So I'm just curious, they're talking about turfing something else in Wills Park, and how long did it take, start to finish, to do the turf at Webbridge? Once we started doing the turf, not the sewer problem, not all that stuff, just the turf.
The turf, the design for...
No, just laying it down, just putting it in.
The install.
Putting it in? Oh, golly, let's see, it was a 3 months process.
So they started it in the winter and they were finished in the winter, right? So the same.
That's everything. That's taking the dirt out, you're doing all the the gravel on the neve, the fencing, the netting, the turf and everything. Yeah, they have a very good and efficient process, and if you have good weather, you definitely can make hit your dates.
Okay, great.
Any other questions? Thank you. And Director's Report, Mr. Rogers.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm going to pick up kind of where Kurt left off, talking about Carlos retiring. And it was a big hole. He is a very dedicated individual, and we already miss him. But we were able to fill this position with a gentleman named Don Stroud, who is already working. The city allows us, once somebody officially puts in a retirement, to go ahead and start looking for a replacement, so there's not much of a gap between the two. And I'm proud to say that with the hiring of Donald, we are at 100% in our full-time roles, and that's cool. That's really good. So I'm proud of that. And then the other thing that Kurt mentioned was the stage at the mall. So we're not completed there. We completed with the construction phase. We still have to do the lighting and the sound there and a couple little touch-up things. But I would tell you that, a lot of people, when I'm talking about that we're doing a community stage at the mall, they kind of give me a look, like, are you sure, really at the mall? And I would say, yeah, really at the mall, because number one, the city's committed to the North Point corridor, refurbishing and revitalizing the North Point corridor. And so this is just our way of kind of leaning into that. Just to be honest with everybody, it is my intention that when we started the community stage out at the mall, that I want to prove to the community that they need a community stage. 150-seat place where people like us can perform and do theatrical things. Most strong communities have a strong community theater program. So we're talking about kids programs in the summer, adult programs, and that we'll be able to have things like a murder mystery night there with the stage and those kind of things. So we're really excited about that. But I would tell you what, Saturday night, if you take Saturday night at the community center, and we said it didn't feel like the community center, it felt like you were going on the showboat. When you come into the mall and you come into the spotlight, you're going to feel like you're in a theater when you walk into that room. So I'm looking forward to that coming up here. When we have opening day, we're going to try to make it a big deal. So keep an eye on that. We're really excited about the spotlight stage. The other thing I'm just always amazed at when the folks talk about the things that they do. I'm just always amazed at the things that we do. Just like the story map that Christine was showing with the health and wellness. That's just a cool thing to do, but you can go on the arts page, or art side, and you can do the same thing with public art. It'll show you where the public art is, and it'll take you, just as Christine was showing you, it'll show you where to go to park or where the next one is. And so that's kind of like the intersection of recreation and parks and GIS, and we're building on that, that's exciting times for us. There's a couple of things that have happened at the council level that I want to tell you about, and a couple of things that are coming up. Since we last met, the Ambush, the Alpharetta Youth Baseball and Softball Association contracts have both been approved by mayor and council, so those are going to move forward to next year. And at the last meeting that we had a council, the Home by Dark Memorandum of Understanding for the concert series in the back was approved for another year. So we know we're going to have another 6 Home by Dark concerts coming up this year. So those are both really good and exciting things that were approved by mayor and council simply because we have to have a contract on site, and the mayor is the only one that can sign the contract. The other things that are coming up are Johns Creek Memorandum of Understanding with our sister city of Johns Creek, where citizens that are citizens of Alpharetta can register for Johns Creek programs, baseball, softball, soccer, and lacrosse. Recreation sports only, no travel. They can register for our programs at a resident price, and we can register for their programs. It's really a big help. Baseball and softball is offered, soccer offered by both of the entities. We offer the softball program in lacrosse, and Johns Creek offers the lacrosse program. So it's a really good MOU that's coming up. The other things that are coming up at the council is approval of the community development block grant money from Fulton County for the repaving of the parking lot at the Adult Activity Center and pickleball course up there. It is actually making ADA parking spots in front of the building and redoing the whole lot. That approval is coming up on February the 24th. The other things that are coming up is the wayfinding signage. You know, if you're riding through any of our parks and you see the blue signs that have become now commonplace, we've approved a contract with Signorama so that as we need to add those signs, we don't have to go out and get a bid for a small sign. We can just go ahead and do that. That's coming up on the 24th as well. So that's the things that are coming up on the city council agenda. There's a few things on the that are out, a request for the request for qualifications for the remaining bond projects at Wills Park Equestrian Center, Union Hill, and Old Rucker Farm. That particular bond RFQ, make sure I tell you right, is out. 61 documents have been downloaded. 61 different organizations have downloaded those documents, and those are due in on March the 6th. So after March the 6th, we'll be able to hopefully start moving forward with all of those projects as we move forward. The other RFP that is out is the equestrian ring footings. If you remember, with the Equestrian Foundation, the thing that is most important to them is the footing, what the horses run on. So we're going to do an RFP for that, separate from the RFQ for the construction manager, and we'll tell that construction manager, you have to use this particular vendor. Those are due on the 20th of this month. So that will help greatly to make sure that we have the same footings in all the arenas as we move forward. And the last one is the Youth Football Athletic Association request for proposals. It went out on the 30th of January, and it's due February the 20th. We have had 20 different people that have downloaded those documents for that particular request for proposals. So that brings you up to date on all of those items. There's a couple other things I want to mention to you is on the Encore Gateway project. If you remember, if you're on Encore Parkway going toward Big Creek, where that dead ends, there's a car wash to your right. To the left is city-owned property, and there's going to be a park built there that's going to have an overlook that's going to overlook down to where the greenway is going to connect. And it's going to be a connection to the main greenway, and that park is fully funded, and it will start on February the 20th, and it's about an 18-month build. So that's going to really be a game changer for the North Point area. The other thing that Mayor and Council did last Monday was they moved by consensus vote. They had funding for the North Point Parkway. The North Point Parkway is 6 lanes of road. There was the idea to reduce that to 2 lanes, have it more bike friendly and pedestrian friendly with wider sidewalks and all of that. With the uncertainty right now that's happening of not really knowing what's coming to the North Point area, they decided to take the funding that was allocated for that at some future time and move it to the Alpha Loop link, which will take the Alpha Loop from Haynes Bridge Road right below 400 all the way to Encore Parkway, about another mile and a half of Alpha Loop. That's really going to help us connect downtown and the Greenway, because that was always one of the objectives, is to do that. So those are exciting times. Those projects the projects around North Point Parkway are coming to fruition, and we're a big part of that. Looking at my notes, it looks like I've covered everything I want to cover now. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Do we have any questions for Director?
So the loop, the extension of the Alpha Loop down to, that's going to be along that west side connecting down to Encore Parkway and then over the freeway there, or?
No, it's actually in between the development and 400. There's a really large strip of land there. So the Alpha Link is what we're calling it. We'll start right there, that new development on Haynes Bridge.
The gathering?
It will dive down and go between the developments and 400 and come out on Encore Parkway.
Okay. Okay, and how do you get to that link then off of Haynes Bridge?
There's a part of the developers has already built a wide sidewalk there, so you'll just come down Haynes Bridge, and then it'll just be a continuous path all the way to Encore.
So you'll be on the, if Haynes Bridge ran, Haynes Bridge runs kind of what, north,
East-west, Haynesbridge, well,
no, because Old Milton runs east-west,
Yeah.
and it kind of runs northeast, northwest, kind
Yeah.
of. It'll be on the south side of that? You would be on Haynesbridge on the south side, not on the?
Yes, on the south side.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I can't remember the name of that development there,
It's not the new one, not the one under construction, not the gap?
not the one under construction, the one that has, there's still some construction, but they've already built some of the apartments and some of the
Yes.
shops and all of
Yes.
that. It's down pat, between that and 400 is where it's going to be.
Okay, so they're gonna clear along the, in this tree buffer there?
Well, the way the path is gonna run, it still has to mark, there's gonna be very little tree removal. We're just gonna zig and zag around the trees.
Right.
So, very
I
little.
like that.
Any other questions for Director Rogers? None? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Do we have anything the commissioners want to talk about tonight? If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
What are we saying tonight? What do we want to say tonight, Sarah? I move to adjourn the meeting.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it. Or, Mr. Norton did.
It has been moved by Commissioner Rand and seconded by Commissioner Norton that we adjourn the meeting at
Why aren't you telling people? your news?
6:22 PM.
Wait a minute. Paul has news.
Paul has news?
Yeah. I was supposed to announce it, but I actually have to step off of the commission because I'm technically moving next month. And so I am not a primary resident of Alpharetta anymore, as of March.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Very sad. Super enjoyed being here with y'all, but it's weird how it worked out, and I didn't want to leave Alpharetta, but ended up doing it. So I have one more meeting. March.
Okay.
You don't need a bigger house.
Just don't move.
It has been moved by Commissioner Rand and seconded by Commissioner Norton that we adjourn the meeting at 6:22 PM. I'll now call for a vote. Please vote. The motion passes with 7 yeses and 2 no votes. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you.